In today's video, we will be discussing the key of B flat major. Now let's start by defining sharps and flats. A sharp means that we raise a note up by 1/2 step or up to the very next note. So here's the note D. If I wanted to sharp the D, I would play this note. And that would be the note D sharp. A flat means that we lower a note by 1/2 step. So a flat is exactly the opposite. A flat means we go down. So here's the note D. If I wanted to flat the D, I would play that note, and that would be the note D flat. Now what's interesting here is that sharps and flats, in a sense, are the same thing, because D sharp is the same thing as E flat, right? D flat is the same thing as C sharp. So let me start with this question. Why is the key of B flat called the key of B flat and not the key of A sharp? Why is there no such thing as a key of A sharp major in music? Well, it has to do with the scale. And the first thing that we need to know if we want to know what a key is we have to know the scale. So let's take a look at a B flat scale. Now, if we wanted to call this an A sharp scale, here's what we would get. We would have A sharp, C, D, E flat, and so on. Now, did you catch the problem there? A sharp, C. What's missing is a B. And every scale in music must represent all 7 letter names. We have to have the whole musical alphabet in there, and there's no B. So there's no way to have an A sharp major scale. We can never call this A sharp in this context. It must be called B flat because that's the only way we can represent all 7 letter names. So that's why this is the key of B flat and not the key of A sharp. Now let's take a look at how to play the B flat major scale. So we are going to have 2 flats in this key. We're going to lower the B down by 1/2 step and the E down by 1/2 step. Here's how it goes. B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat. Okay, so to play in the key of B flat, we have to flat the B and the E. That top flat there is just an octave of the B flat, so remember that doesn't count towards the key signature. 2 flats, B and E. So this means that if I sit down at the piano and I flat the B and the E, I'm in the key of B flat major. Now how does that impact chords? Let's take a look at the chords that will be built upon this scale in the key of B flat. Our 1 chord is B flat major. 2 chord, C minor. 3 chord would be a D minor chord. Okay, 4 chord, E flat major. 5 chord, F major. 6 chord, G minor. And the 7 chord is A diminished. And remember, the primary chords are going to be the majors. 1, 4, 5, that's going to be B flat, E flat, F. So that means that if you see B flat, E flat, and F grouped together in a song, that's a pretty strong indication that that song is in the key of B flat. Now the third element that we want to know is we want to know the relative minor to the key of B flat major. Remember that every major key is tied to a minor key. And so if we take the time to really learn our majors and then learn which minor key they're tied to, we also know the minor keys. And so that's the idea, is that we don't think of these things as 2 separate entities, but that we think of them as paired together. So always know your relative minor. Now the way that we find the relative minor is by counting down 3 half steps from the root note of the major key. Okay, so here's B flat. 1, 2, 3, we arrive at G. So G minor has the same 2 flats as B flat major. Here's how we play a G minor scale. G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G. And there's the key of G minor. So we now know that there is no key of A sharp major in music, and we know why. We know that to play in the key of B flat, we have to flat the B and the E. We know the 7 chords in the key of B flat, and especially those 3 primary chords. And we know the relative minor to the key of B flat, G minor. As musicians, it should be our goal to play in all 12 keys well. And so it's my hope that this video will mean that there is one less key that you are unsure about. We now know the key of B flat.